What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. I'm Jeff, and today we're doing another kind of spur of the moment video because I did pick up a new gun today. It arrived, it was transferred from a different shop, and that is going to be my Phoenix Trinity. So I figured I've never done an unboxing. Let's do an unboxing and set this gun up how I set up all my guns. So I'll take you along through that, and that should be it. Nice short little video for the day. So let's check it out. All right, so here's what we're doing. Phoenix Trinity H-TAC unboxing. See, Phoenix Trinity Firearms comes in this really nice Savior gun bag. And let's check it out. So, first we have a little pouch that is empty. Then we have a 6 capacity magazine with two 20-round mags. These are MBX magazines, metal mags. I'm not a huge, in my 2011s, I don't run MBX, but Atlas mags I really like. These are great, I'm sure. They're MBX are spendy magazines. I don't like the MBX logo right there. It's just aesthetic. But we'll see how they run, how they lock back. But 2 MBX mags. I always feel like you should get more mags, especially when you're getting a high value gun. They should fill this thing up, in my opinion. This is the Phoenix Trinity H-TAC. What we have is, it's a 2011 compensated pistol, technically a double stack 1911. And it is actually, this is a 5-inch rail on here, full dust cover, 5-inch rail with a, since the compensator's on there, you have a 4.78-inch barrel. And it is done in this DLC and Type 3 hard anodizing, steel frame, and aluminum grip. Really good looking gun. I got it from, actually, from this company right here, Modern Warriors. Favorite gun shop. They're down in St. George, Utah, which is southern Utah. Best gun shop I've ever been to. They have a great, huge online presence. So if you go to modernwarriors.com and check them out, they are amazing. I'm on an email list, and they sent this email out and had actually the Phoenix Trinity H Pro on there, which is, they have the H Pro, the H-TAC, and the H Duty, as far as I'm aware of. And Modern Warriors had all 3 of those, but the one on the email was the H Pro. And it was a couple $100 more than this one, but it had a different slide on it. And I like this slide with this cut in it and these serrations. Pure aesthetics, but I preferred the look of the H-TAC over the H Pro, so I went with this. I mean, that slide is super buttery. This trigger, very nice. Kind of a longer reset, but great pull. But that slide is so smooth. Now, it's obviously just butt naked right here, and we need to kit this thing out. I'm gonna do that on camera. So I have this, which we'll use, and let's get into the fun stuff. So we're gonna put an optic on here. I'm gonna go with the Trijicon RMR HD. I have SROs on a lot of my guns, and I'm gonna put a Surefire X300 Turbo on there. This is the RMR HD. These are pretty. Okay, let's get our tools out here. So we're going to take these screws out. And I'm assuming most everybody is familiar with what I'm doing. But just in case someone out there has never done an optic on a gun, I figured I would post it on this video. Can't hurt to watch somebody do it. And these screws look like they're very short. And they've obviously been cut. I assume that is for the exact depth in there. You don't want screws that, I tell you, I've had to Dremel down so many optic screws in my day because they're just too long. It would be nice if there was just a standard depth, but that's not going to happen. And then this one comes with, this is the optic plate. You can see, and it says on there 7 inch-pounds. So we're going to go, that's why we have our torque driver here. This is the optic plate that mounts onto the slide here, pre-cut slide. One thing I will say that I don't love already about this system is you can see there's just right here, this is just a flat wall with no recess, no lip or anything. And back here, same situation. There's no, other than these 2 screws, there's nothing holding this plate on to the slide. So if these come loose, that's gone. Your optic, I mean, worst case, it falls all the way off, but just getting loose is bad enough to maintain that 0 on your red dot. I would prefer having some have little rail that this will slide in, which is nice, very secure. Nighthawks have that rail. A lot of them have some sort of raised edge back here that it'll sit in, or even a little protrusion right here that slides into a lip underneath here. And those are all just more secure mounting solutions. This is a little dubious, if you ask me. We're going to go with it, how they designed it. So I'm assuming their engineers did the work. And if you mount it to the provided specs, it should hold. I mean, shooting a gun, there is tremendous forces at work. And 2 little screws it worries me. I'll say that. That's right. And that's the left. And I will say, I always try to index. If I take the left screw out, I always put that same screw back in that left hole. And vice versa. So we go. And once again, look at the length of these screws. So that is all that's holding your optic onto the slide on this gun. Is that 4 little threads. That seems somewhat minimal to me. But we do. And I am using Vibratite VC3. Okay, those are snug. They want these to 20 inch-pounds, and then the optic to the plate at 7. Those are the specs. So here we are at 20 pounds. And I will snug them down evenly before I give them full torque. I don't want to have this one just snug and then wrench the right one all the way to 20 and then possibly put a cant in there. I try to do it as evenly distributed as possible. Ooh, that fits back in well. Looks very good. I like the aesthetic of that HD screw here. A little dab of Vibratite. See that? And then we'll set this guy back down to 7 inch-pounds. 7 inch-pounds. So this will probably be almost nothing. That's about as light as a spec as I've seen, 7 inch-pounds. I'll typically do them at about 12. But let's go to their specs and see what happens. Okay, we got that on there. Okay, now it's time to install the light. This is your Surefire X300. It is a type B, which means it has a screw instead of the quick release little paddles. These definitely more secure, paddles are more convenient. Security is paramount, having that thing not fly off, because like I said, the amount of force that these things are under, the weapon cycling is immense. I've had so many lights come off. I haven't had a bunch of optics come off, but I've had many get loose, and that's never fun, especially when you're at the range and you don't have the right size tool to secure it. Get everything securely fastened in the correct way to the provided specifications, and you should be okay. I am a little concerned about this plate and optic, but we'll see. That is a really good looking gun. Once you get it all set up like that, and then let me grab a magazine. Okay, so this is the H-TAC, and this is the magazine it came with, these MBXs. That looks good, except I just don't like that. I don't like seeing MBX on there. I do have a staccato mag with the base plate on it, which I think that looks far better, personally. And that's the extended. I do have, this is an Atlas magazine, and then this base plate on here, this is from Type A. So that looks pretty slick as well. This is out of my Type A EG11. That's the magazine it came with. Or this is a Checkmate magazine that came with one of my staccatos, and it's a flush fit. And that's the gun. Okay, so a little bit of news. When I was changing the camera setup, I got the gun up and was holding it up, and with that light shining back, I could see I had a problem. So I had to call an audible, and I had to change to an SRO. Since the installation process is exactly the same, I didn't bother filming it again, but let me tell you what happened. You can see that right here. So this SRO, as well as the RMR HD, has the overhang right here. This part of the optic that overhangs. There's more distance in this little space right here on the SRO than there is on the HD. So what was happening is the optic plate itself has a teeny little lip on it. It's hard to see. Top edge of this plate, the RMR HD actually makes contact with that right there. So when I held it up to the light, I could see a little gap under here, a little gap between the bottom of the optic and the plate, which you don't want, which meant it was, the screws were pulling it down back here, and then it was catching pressure right here, and there's a little gap in there. So I'm not going to do that. Had to call the audible, no big deal, but anyone out there that's been doing this for a while, you've run into so many little unforeseen hiccups in optic installation or any gun part. There's always some little thing. Like I mentioned earlier, I've had to modify the length of so many screws, and I think it's a good thing overall. It's problem solving and finding solutions, because if you're getting into the gun world, you are definitely gonna need to figure out how to solve some little problems. And sometimes it's just, oh, that optic won't work. The other option would have been, say I didn't have an SRO, I probably would have taken that plate off and dremeled millimeter of material that would have had to been removed, and it would have fit. But I didn't want to do that. I had an easier solution of replacing it with an optic I love, so it wasn't a big deal. but there's been so many little things like that with AR rails and optics and mounts and tons of examples of hardware and having to make little minute adjustments to things to work. And it's part of the fun. It can be very, very frustrating, but it's also part of the fun, finding the solutions out, because not everything's going to work with everything. So I guess that is my first unboxing video slash Optic installation slash problem solving. And this one was easy, fortunately. Look at this gun. I think it looks absolutely dead sexy, super cool. And this is the Phoenix Trinity H-TAC. Can't wait to shoot it. So thanks for joining me. Short little quick video today. I appreciate you tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, reminding you to keep your weapons collected and keep collecting your weapons. I'll catch you next time.